Okay, boys and girls, so today we're continuing with Make 10. We've already used number frames, we've used Cuisenaire rods, and today we're going to play a game. And I have my assistant here, Mr. Marta, to take the place of my partner who's playing the game. And yeah, so to play the game, you need three things. You need the game board, and I will put that up in the link so that you can click and copy it and just print it out if you want. You need a 10-sided die, so you might have one at home, but if you don't, you can just type 10-sided dice into Google and one will come up right at the top like that. You don't even have to go to a website. You also need chips. Now at school, we use stackers that you stack on top of each other, but at home, you just need 10 of something that are different colors. So we happen to have poker chips at home. You might have coins, like if you have pennies and nickels or something, anything that you can have that you can stack and that are two different colors you can use. Now, we are starting with 10 chips each. You don't have to play with 10 chips each. You could play with 5 chips each if you want a short game. You could play with 20 if you want a longer game. You could play with 50, but I think that might be too long. So you decide what you want to do. Now, the object of the game is to make 10. So we've been talking a lot about that. So imagine, we're not starting yet. Imagine I rolled a 2, which is what on my screen. I think about what number do I add to 2 to make 10. And I would add an 8 to 2, and then I would end up putting my chip on the 8. So we're going to start the game the way we always start to see who goes first. We're going to rock, paper, scissors. Remember, you go on shoot, not on scissors. Ready, Mr. Marta?
I am.
Paper, scissors, shoot. Okay, so I'm going to go first. So I roll my die. I've rolled a 4. So then I think, what do I add to 4 to make 10? 4 and 6 are 10. So I put my chip on the 6. Then Mr. Marta rolls his die. He has a 6. Does he put his chip on the 6?
No.
Nope. He thinks, what do I add to 6 to make 10? I add 4 to 6, so he puts his chip on the 4. Then I roll the die. I rolled a 4. What do I add to 4 to make 10? I add 6. Now, I already have one on the 6, so I just stack it right on top. Then Mr. Marta rolls the dice. Oh, Mr. Marta rolled a 6. This is really strange.
Very random.
So that's the way it happens. So he thinks, what do I add to 6 to make 10? 4. So he puts it on the 4. Then I roll the dice. Oh, I rolled a 4 again.
What's going on?
My dice is broken. I rolled the 4. What do I add to 4 to make 10? 6. So I put it on the 6. It doesn't usually happen this way. Mr. Marta rolled a 1 this time. He thinks, what do I add to 1 to make 10? 9. So he puts his chip on the 9. I rolled a 1. What do I add to 1 to make 10? 9. Now, Mr. Marta's already there, but I cover him up. It doesn't go under. It doesn't go beside. I cover him up. Mr. Marta rolled a 4.
Good one for me.
What does he add to 4 to make 10? 6. So he puts his chip on the 6. Now, let's imagine that I rolled and I rolled a 10. That is a bit tricky because we have a 10 on the board. What do we usually add to 10 to make 10? 0. Now, if you have an actual die, you might roll a 0, but we don't have one on here. So if you roll a 0 or a 10, you're going to go on the 10. So now Mr. Marta and I are going to play it out. Either I'm going to speed it up or I'm going to splice it out. Now, once we've used all our chips up, the next thing we do is we look for the towers that have our color on the top. And I was purple, so I take the towers that have purple on the top. Mr. Marta takes the towers that have green on the top. And now to see who won, we count out our chips. And I'm going to lay mine out, and Mr. Marta's going to lay them out, just like we would with the 10 frame. So you can probably tell what the numbers are just from looking at them. Mr. Marta has 10 and 1, which is 11, and I don't quite have a 10 frame. I'm 1 short, which is 9. that means Mr. Marta wins. I say,
Game, Mrs.
good
Marta.
game, Mr. Marta. And then we decide, do we want to play again?
It's a game of luck we gotta talk about.
Yeah, Mr. Marta wants me to tell you he doesn't have a microphone on. He wants me to tell you it's a game of luck. It's not like you're a better player if you win. You just got luckier rolls.
It's just a lot of fun to play.
Yeah, it's just a fun way to practice making 10.